For me, clean slate. There's no ceiling on what these guys are able to accomplish.
We just came here to prepare to make the playoff.
It's our job to put this team in a position to be successful.
I have an opportunity here to help this team win ball games.
You got to go out there and earn it.
Gurriel, way back, we're tied. Ketel Marte has done it again. Corbin Carroll, way back, goodbye, has got it. Another spectacular grab by Alek Thomas.
The culture here is second to none.
We made the right decision coming back here.
We've got really quality players in this clubhouse. Really looking forward to the season.
We expect to do great things.
I don't want to let people down.
You know what we get to do today, Arizona? We get to play baseball. Salt River Fields is the backdrop for a very hot spring training, right? But maybe that's just a little foreshadowing for how the D-backs plan to start 2026. What is up, Arizona? Happiness is a choice as always. Thank you for choosing us. Welcome into D-backs on Deck, the spring training special. The 12 sports team coming in hot. Cameron Cox, Lena Washington, and Jake Garcia on your TV.
For the next hour, we're taking you behind the scenes, getting you hyped for opening day 2026. We have exclusive interviews you'll see only here on 12 News. We are one-on-one with the opening day starter, Zack Gallen, and you'll hear from the most buzzed about player in camp, Jordan Lawler.
And as always, we got stories from inside the clubhouse and down on the field, how Torey Lovullo and Mike Hazen met in the first place, how a trip from Tucson almost derailed the future Hall of Fame career of Nolan Arenado, plus what's new at the ballpark in 2026.
So what's new with this team? The D-backs doubling down on defense this offseason. No acquisition shows that more than the move to acquire Nolan Arenado from the Cardinals. He's one of the best third basemen, simply put, to ever play. A wizard at the hot corner who has won 10 Gold Gloves, and as he told us earlier this spring, he's still that guy deep down. His bat may have slowed down over these past couple of years, but maybe Chase Field can fix that, and just getting that guy back who can deliver at the plate would be gravy for this team. They're paying a cheap price for a great glove and a great clubhouse leader.
The D-backs middle infield features two of the best players in baseball. Ketel Marte and Geraldo Perdomo ramped up their normal spring routines to be ready in time for the World Baseball Classic. Perdomo's coming off a near MVP season, voted as one of the best 25 players in all of baseball. Marte, meanwhile, is still a D-back. He was the subject of a bunch of trade talks in the offseason, but nobody bet the D-backs' high asking price. 32-year-old still one of the best second basemen in all of baseball. Both sides right now are in a great place.
Finally, help is on the way. The Diamondbacks starting spring the same way they've been since last summer. The pitching staff is banged up, and their best pitchers won't be back until around the All-Star break. Corbin Burns, Justin Martinez, and A.J. Puck all say their elbows are on the road to being fully healthy after Tommy John surgery.
It's the first year to start a season I haven't been healthy. First year I won't be on the active opening day roster. The training staff's done a good job of kind of keep me slow and not trying to rush me back.
I got my timeline, and the team has theirs. I'm kind of looking around, figuring out, like, what am I going to do? Yeah, on the days I'm not throwing.
Being unable to do what you love, to do what you've been doing all your life, it's tough. Feeling sad because I was chilling at home doing nothing with my freaking surgery in my arm.
It's unfortunate we still got injuries we're dealing with from last year, but we're all on the mend, and hopefully we're back sooner rather than later.
All right, did you know D-backs manager Torey Lovullo is the third longest tenured manager in all of Major League Baseball right now, which is crazy when you think about it. He and GM Mike Hazen are going on their 10th season together here in the desert. That's even more crazy, right? Usually GMs and managers don't get that kind of time together. It's even more rare for friends to get that time together. Their friendship goes back more than 2 decades. The duo sitting down, talking about how they met and why their time together is about more than just baseball.
We started in the minor leagues together and, kind of worked up through, the baseball chain together.
Are you the big brother?
No, I'm the little brother. I feel like I'm the little brother. But I value my time with him. I value my friendship.
Mike, do you remember when you first met Torey?
Yeah, I do. 2001, I think. I was roommates with Ross Atkins at the time. We were both working in Cleveland, and Ross was in the farm system with Torey. Torey was a minor league manager, and Torey came in town, and they got really drunk, and I was asleep. And in the middle of the night, 1, 2 a.m., they came in Ross had this new stereo he wanted to show Torrey, and they were blasting the music. Woke me up. Torrey was like, "Hey man, isn't your roommate sleeping?" And Ross was like, "Don't worry about it." And then I just came out and met him. It was like, "Hey, can you guys just turn that down a little bit?" And went back to bed.
We had a few too many cocktails. Came in super late, number one, and I said, "You have a roommate, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Who is it?" He's like, "It's Mike Hazen." I don't know, were you interning or were you full-time?
Probably was just my first year full-time, but one or the other.
He was trying to do the responsible thing. Go to bed early, like prepare for the next day. There's work to do, Torrey.
Now that I know him 25 years later, like, what a good roommate. Most roommates, after 1 second of that volume going up over like 3 or 4, because it was 10.
It was 10.
Walls were shaking and it was bumping for at least 20 minutes. Like, the normal roommate wouldn't try to grind it out. The normal roommate would be like, "Dude, turn it down. Somebody's getting kicked," okay? But he just kind of ducked out and he's like, "Hey, you guys want to turn it down just a little bit?" And I was like, "Oh my God, he's been in there the whole time." And it wasn't like down the hall. It was from me to you. Away. His door was this close.
There's a small place.
He's a grinder. He was absolutely trying to grind it out. That's his personality.
I figured they would turn it down at some point. You know what I mean? Like the music, well, not even common courtesy. The music wasn't that good. So like they tested out the sound system, and I thought they would turn it off. It was like 2 in the morning. I wasn't the only one that heard it. The entire apartment building heard it. That, you know, led itself to whenever I would come in town or he would come to Cleveland, we just ended up spending a lot of time together. We kind of learned that very early of how to walk that line of that there's things on the field, there's things off the field. I think if you can make them work, they're even stronger as long as you understand where the boundaries are.
I never imagined that I would ever be in the situation with him as the general manager, me the manager.
Mike, when you got hired, was there any doubt, like, Torrey was your guy?
One thing that I saw more than anything else was that relationship between the manager and the GM is important. It's not just a business relationship in my mind all the time. There's days where we fight and it's aggressive and it's arguing over little small things that we're doing and things that where we see we need to push ourselves forward, and we may have disagreements on some of those things, or maybe personnel related, it may be implementation related, whatever it might be. There can't be grudges or lingering things, or you're going to miss the next thing, or you're not going to have the next conversation, or, you know, you're going to get too wrapped up in what is he thinking about, what you know, and we don't have that. It's an important quality for me, beyond that he's a good manager, but that relationship has to exist in order for us to operate in the optimal way.
The interview, and it happened right over here, the interview for me was probably the most nerve-wracking interview that I've ever had. I'd done it 6 times. I didn't want to let him down. And he hammered me. He challenged my answers. He still does that today. Example, yesterday he sent me a text before I got to my phone from the first base dugout to the clubhouse in left field in Mesa. I had a text already laid there, like, certain things we have got to clean up. That's every day.
Who wins more arguments? I don't know. I think
he does.
He's
got great perspective. He's got great perspective. I miss the boat sometimes.
I disagree with that. Like, I feel like yesterday's argument, in the end, I took your position on it. Like, yes, when you walked out of the room, that I felt like I was in a certain place, but then I thought about it after a while, and I feel like in the end, the solution, I'm not going to tell you what that was, but where it came to, you won the argument. The biggest strength any of us can have is understanding that you're not always right.
Yesterday's example is just one of many as to why he's such a great leader. And he listened to the room. And yes, we did have an argument yesterday. Jeff Bannister heard it through the door, or through the wall. And so fast forward to us being in Mesa, Jeff came into my office and he's like, "What the hell happened in there? What was that all about?" So I was explaining it to him, and who walks in is Mike. And the first thing I said to him was, "Hey man, I want to resolve this as soon as possible." And he said to me, "That's why I'm here."
We take these things seriously because we have a limited time in this game. So that limited amount of time doesn't allow you to just sit back and be like, "Today's great, we'll have tomorrow and the next day too." We're not guaranteed that. No one's guaranteed that.
Anything personally that you guys have helped each other out with that you'll always remember forever?
Yeah. I mean, Kristen Lovullo helped take care of my wife while she was dying. Like, my wife passed away at 3 o'clock in the morning, and my mom was there, and outside of calling my mother-in-law, like, they were the first people I called at 4 o'clock in the morning. And they were the first people that walked in the door of my house at 420. And I'll never forget that. It's not my favorite moment, but it's something that I'll never, ever forget. I'm so grateful and appreciative of it. And it probably means the most to me out of anything that we've experienced over 25 years.
My wife was unbelievable in so many ways, and Mike and Nicole allowed her into their home, and she was there every single day. And through it all, the thing that was real amazing through this is that he was still available. Like, he was running a baseball team. He did have to take a leave of absence, but Mike was involved, and we knew it, and he was always a phone call away, and he managed to balance it all out. It just blew me away every single day, and it was pretty inspiring.
Just talking about unfinished business, and you and Tori, you still get to finish it.
We haven't batted 1,000 on this, obviously. We've made our mistakes, but I feel like the passion with which we have to try to bring a championship to the city is even greater than it was, and we are not going to stop until we accomplish that goal.
When you're in the trench with your brothers and you want to do it for yourself, but I think sometimes you want to do it more for your brothers than you do yourself, and that's where I'm at.
Still keep the music loud?
Yeah, if I hear a couple good songs, it's going to bump for sure.
Has he got better taste, Mike?
In what?
In music.
I don't listen to his music. Yeah.
He's all country. I'm not country.
And I go to bed at 8 o'clock now. Like, if somebody came in at 1 a.m., they wouldn't get the same response now. Yeah.
I told you, he'd be that guy. He'd come out and be like, turn off that music.
That I would do now. Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Which is what he should have done.
Which is what he should have done.
Yeah.
But thankfully,
yeah.
He didn't. He was so nice. Hey, turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, now I'm the old dog.
Man, Lena, Tori Lovullo, Mike Hazen. It's so awesome to see them be such great friends. They got some unfinished business left to do here, and they got some great taste in music.
I approve.
There we go. She approves. Coming up next, the D-backs on deck. D-backs third baseman Nolan Arenado. He's got a crazy journey to the big league.
And we've got a fresh season coming up for the milkman. Zack Gallen is back in the desert, adding to an already solid starting rotation.
Perdomo. This is where the divas play.
Amazing. He's gonna be his breakout season this year for him, for sure. He's gonna look like he's 28 years old again.
Yeah, we've been working together. He's gonna help me to win the Gold Glove, and it's gonna be better with the Nolan out there. Our infield gonna be better for sure. I've been working on my defense. I need a Gold Glove.
High praise there for Arenado. He's going to make his D-backs debut at Dodger Stadium, then his home debut later the following week. Now, these are two places that Arenado holds close, but Chase Field for kind of strange reasons. Arenado made his MLB debut in Phoenix against the D-backs in April of 2013. He was called up from a minor league game in Tucson. It should have been a convenient stroke of luck. Instead, it was pure chaos. An MLB debut at Chase Field was supposed to symbolize the end of a chase. Nolan Arenado had made it to the majors, a soon-to-be rock star for the Colorado Rockies.
Arenado drives one deep to left and gone.
But the day before, Nolan found himself being chased down by his parents. Millie and Fernando weren't the helicopter type, just concerned about their son getting to Phoenix in one piece. It started at a BJ's in Tucson. Nolan in town for a AAA game. His parents had decided to visit for the weekend. The food hadn't even cooled when Arenado got the call.
We had a feeling it was possibly that. And then once he told me that, hey, I'm getting called up, obviously we were all ecstatic.
The excitement only grew.
The Rockies sent a car to drive me to Chase.
Nolan was getting the big league treatment.
Before Uber, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't really around. It was like you just hire, a black car to come pick you up.
Nolan's mom recalls the color differently, and that's where the red flag started.
This white limo, and it was kind of old, I'm not gonna lie. I'm expecting this shiny black, so this white limousine pulls up.
What happened after was a blur for both the family and the driver.
We're driving, it was really flat and straight. I didn't even notice because I was so excited.
Nolan sure noticed.
The driver was He wasn't drunk, but he was not all right, and I don't know what was going on. He was really tired and kind of swerving a little bit. We told him to pull over.
Mom and Dad were following in their own car, a pit stop for everyone at Circle K.
The gentleman gets out and he goes get some coffee, and I got candy or something. And Fernando says to me, like, this guy, you know, he's making me nervous the way he's driving.
Something wasn't right, so we just said, hey, like, you can go home. My dad will take me. We're good.
It was kind of weird. He was like, oh, he sort of didn't really fight it.
It was a great service from the Rockies, but the driver wasn't that. He wasn't ready.
It may have cost Nolan being ready for his first game. The trip down I-10 had taken longer than expected. The arrival in Phoenix had bled into tomorrow.
Midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, I didn't go to bed till maybe 6, 7. You know, I was too fired up and nervous about it.
His mom was just as flustered.
If I knew that he was going to debut, you know, I would have got a nice outfit and all the things. I mean, I had no idea.
All that trouble in Arenado's first game was unspectacular. 0 for 3 with the walk and left stranded as the tying run in the ninth.
Diamondbacks win it.
A classic case of the chase being more thrilling than the catch.
That's not how I envisioned it at all, actually. I didn't envision my parents coming with me. I didn't envision the driver not being locked in, ready to go. But once we were in Phoenix and stuff like that, that's when it became real.
So Arenado's first MLB game was anticlimactic, but the one after that sure delivered on the hype. He was at Dodger Stadium, a homecoming game for the Southern California native, and in front of a packed house of family and friends, he had 3 hits, including his first big league home run. It would jumpstart what would wind up being a Hall of Fame career.
Thanks a lot, Jake. Coming up next on D-Backs on Deck, we are one-on-one with the opening day starter, Zack Gallen, the milkman, ready to return to form.
And how are players adjusting to the new ABS system? A welcome approach to calling balls and strikes.
Gotta tap the head, leader, that's it.
That's it.
The Valley. It's not just rapidly growing. It's not just 300 days of sunshine. It's much more than that. This is our community, where we're immersed in its diversity and culture. This is where we grow, where we evolve, where we're writing the Arizona story. This is our home. And 12 News is the home of breaking news, the home of weather impact alerts, the home of investigations, the home of original streaming content on 12+, the home of journalism.
And once again, we're the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
And we are so excited to be back on 12 News for another season.
Catch a select number of games right on 12 News.
Including opening day live from Los Angeles.
And catch the home opener at Chase Field against Detroit. Baseball's just around the corner.
And it feels great to be right at home.
12 News is your home for Arizona's home team. The Diamondbacks are back on 12 News.
Welcome back to D-Backs on Deck Spring Training Special. Hey, congrats to the Arizona Diamondbacks. On the team's birthday, they celebrated such a historic milestone, surpassing $100 million given back to our communities through their D-Backs Give Back program. They do just such a phenomenal job out in Arizona, out in the communities all year long. March 9th will forever be known as D-Backs Give Back Day.
Awesome seeing the incredible work the Diamondbacks continue to do in our community. In early December, pitcher Zack Gallen joked on social media that his wedding signified the only contract he signed in the early free agency period. We would see Gallen around town, and he went on the record to say he wants to spend the rest of his career here in the desert. He re-signed with the Diamondbacks in the first week of camp, and now he's preparing to make his 4th opening day start with the Snakes.
Swing and a miss. There's the strikeout, and there's the new record. Zack Gallen, a new Diamondback record.
What has the journey been like for you just to get to this moment, to kind of be that solid arm that this organization can rely on?
It's very humbling. I've seen a few things just over the last couple weeks of just the names of guys who've made the amount of opening day starts they have for this franchise. So to kind of be, you know, up there with them is really cool.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Zack Gallen has 8 strikeouts.
When you look at this pitching staff, what word would you use to describe this group?
The one that comes to mind, the easiest, is probably experienced, battle-tested in a sense.
Year 10 for Torrey and Mike kind of working together here in this organization. What has their trust in you meant to you in your development?
I always think back to my first face-to-face interaction with Hayes post-trade, and he'd kind of give me a little insight as to what he had to give up to acquire me and the expectation he had put on me. And not in a pressure sense, it was just more of like, this is what I did, I need you to, be who you are. I think for some people that could, scare them, but to have that confidence in me, was refreshing. I think, especially for me being here now for, I think this is year 8 and being around those guys for so long, like just to have the ability to go into Hayes' office, go into Torrey's office. I don't think that happens in a lot of organizations. So to have the comfort to be able to go in there and pick their brain or share with them, something I might be unsatisfied about or any of those things, I don't take that for granted. I think that, and for them to be able to listen and then take those things and hopefully be able to apply them in places where they feel like that it can work, I think just speaks to their leadership. Even Torrey, I remember one of my first outings, he was like, I'm gonna treat you like a veteran until you prove to me otherwise. So for him to be able to give me that kind of leash, normally I think in baseball it goes the opposite. That allowed me to do what I needed to do and be comfortable in my skin.
What's your message to all the D-backs fans out there?
For the fans, I know that they probably feel like last year was a failure, and they're not wrong to feel that way. Considering the talent we had last year, maybe we got an unfair shake with injuries and things like that, but I think for this year, you're seeing guys who understand that last year didn't go how we wanted it to. You got some guys who have some things to prove, whether it's coming off injury or just coming off bad years, or maybe guys towards the end of their career, or guys that are trying to start their career. I think we just have a lot of guys with chips on their shoulder that want to prove that they either can stay here for as long as they can, or prove that they are still the guy that you might have been a couple years ago. So I think we're in a good spot.
Guys, I can't stop going back to the 2023 NLDS start at Dodger Stadium where Zack Gallen was lights out. If he can return to that kind of version of himself, the all-star version of himself, this team will be in a really good spot.
All right, so we got Zack Gallen back. We also got Merrill Kelly back. Yes, he was the original opening day starter, and he's going to be a little delayed to start the season because of a nerve injury in his back. But if those two can hold down the top of the rotation till Corbin Burns gets back, this team's going to be pretty good.
And then a guy on the back end of the rotation, Eduardo Rodriguez. He shut down Team USA in the World Baseball Classic Championship game. That's the best lineup he's going to face all season. Any form similar to that for Erod this year would be huge for the D-backs.
There we go.
I want to hit you with a baseball insight question, because Torrey told us the other day that the catchers are the one who are going to be challenging the plays, right? It's y'all's job. We got to take the emotions out of the pitcher, because they think every pitch is a strike, right? So it's your job to now challenge the call. What's that like to kind of hold that responsibility when you're back there behind the plate?
There's a little bit more gamesmanship to it, other than just challenging balls and challenging strikes.
Oh, wow. So you're not just reacting to how you feel in that moment.
Right. Understand the situation in the game. I missed my very first one of spring the other day, but our pitcher was struggling to throw strikes. We had first and third, 2 outs, and it was a borderline. It was a pitch that I thought could be borderline, like, hey, let's take a shot here. If we can flip this count, maybe help this pitcher, get a strike, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So there's just a little bit more gamesmanship involved than just trying to make sure that the umpire's getting it all right. You only get 2 challenges. If you miss one, now you're stuck. You're down to 1, and you want to make sure you have them later in the game. So, big spot, first inning, and we need a call. Sure, why not take a shot? But if there's 2 outs, nobody on, 1-0 count, like maybe on that borderline pitch is not the time to risk a challenge.
What's it been like to just kind of get to know some of the new guys, see some of the old guys return in a Merrill and a Zack, and of course, on the heels of Merrill getting scratched as the opening day starter, your reaction to that?
You were down there when Torrey made the news. I know it was tough to hear.
Yeah, I didn't talk to Merrill earlier, but it was tough to hear because you know how much this would mean to him for Merrill to be that opening day starter. And, but he does just want to get healthy, and that makes sense, right? Because he wants to just make sure that he can be out there for, whatever's going to be a full slate. Well, I mean, he's missing the first one, I guess, but even if he's right behind, then, it's still going to be 30-plus starts this year, and that's what the D-backs really need. So as much attention as we all put on opening day, and, it is a big deal, just for him to be healthy is what's really important. It is great all the more reason why we are so happy to have Zack Gallen back, a guy that is going to be so important to this rotation because, Ryan Nelson has been great. Brandon Pfaadt had a little struggle last year, but I think he'll bounce back. You add Mike Soroka, you have Eduardo Rodriguez. I mean, you have a bunch of guys, but Zack and Merrill have been at the top of this thing for years. Yeah. So it does give you a little bit of comfort that Zack is there now.
Still ahead on D-backs on deck. 25 years ago, the Diamondbacks won the World Series. We're catching up with the hero of Game 7, Luis Gonzalez.
We know the Diamondbacks always come up with some kind of viral social media food item, but social media can make athletes more accessible and sometimes in a terrible way.
Yeah, Ryan Thompson shares his thoughts on the dangers of a bad game, how just one blown save can lead to death threats, and a test of an athlete's mental health.
I'm Corbin Carroll. The D-backs play right here on 12 News.
Welcome back to D-backs on Deck Spring Training Special. Play ball! Chase Field ready for opening day. Fan Fest was fun, right? Showing off the new Jumbotron and announcing the D-backs will celebrate the 25th anniversary of that 01 World Series team. Official reunion day is September 19th against the Yankees. And by the way, you can watch that game right here on 12 News. We'll have more on that in a moment. But first, the AC will not be fully fixed until next season. But for the 4th straight year, the D-backs are increasing payroll, ownership, keeping their promise to spend.
I remember saying last year on the record that we needed to reduce our payroll and that we were going to, and I'm here today to say I lied. We didn't do so well last year. We didn't make money last year.
I want us to be successful. I want our fans to feel that we are committed to investing every dollar possible and putting the best team we can put together on the field. And I feel like we owe it to the fans to go all in to the degree we can, and hopefully that our investment will pay off.
So this is going to be a special year celebrating the 2001 World Series team throughout the season. What does that mean to you to be part of that legacy here in the Valley?
Yeah, first of all, it's hard to believe it's been 25 years.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it's pretty special. I mean, the group of guys, it's a very unique bunch of guys. We're still looking for that second major championship in the Valley. I always say it was great to be part of that team. My kids, they were very young and little. You always want young people to enjoy or be a part of a celebration like that. And the younger kids, when we were playing and they got to see the parade and things like that, I want their kids to be able to see something like that because it was a special time. And here we are 25 years later still talking about it. And the kids that are growing up now have, they know our names. They just don't know who we are. And they look at us and go, oh, those are a bunch of old guys out there.
Oh, come on.
But it's been 25 years now, so hopefully this team or one of the teams in the future can pick the second championship.
You're the example, Gonzo. Like the example of the moment that kids dream about their entire life.
Absolutely.
There's just not many of those in sports.
Yeah, and I don't take that for granted. I mean, I got to do something that millions of people wanted to do. I lived out my childhood dream because when you're a little kid, you play that scenario in your mind, whether you're a football player, hockey, basketball, tennis, whatever it may be, you always think of those moments. And I'm a sports fan, too. I still do it. I'll watch there. I go, man, what's that? What's that feel like, that putt? You wish you could bottle it up and give it to everybody else to be able to experience that because I dreamed that as a kid. And then to actually find myself in that moment, it was very surreal.
Did you keep anything from that World Series run that you still have?
I have the cleats still. I have my jersey. And the bat is in Cooperstown. Ooh. So, but I have the memory, and my World Series ring is in a safe. I don't bring it out because that was the last. I think 2001 is the last small championship ring. And then when I see guys now, it looks like our ring looks like a high school class ring.
Yeah.
Even the minor league rings, or the kids that play travel ball around here, their rings are huge. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm not bringing my World Series.
You can store a cooler on the ring.
They're going to look at my ring and go, what is that?
Wait a minute, doesn't transform into a Autobot or something?
You can't open it up and there's no flashing in it?
Hologram or something?
Yeah.
All right, a little TV magic for what's new out here at Chase Field. We're talking food with the host of Arizona Midday, Rachel Cole, D-backs community reporter too as well. Rachel, what'd you see that you like that fans are going to enjoy this year at the ballpark?
Chef Tilder has outdone himself this year, and I know Desiree, my co-host, already has her eyes on the nachos. She says the biggest bucket of nachos she's ever seen. So it's great that they have, dietary restrictions in mind when they're making new stuff. But I'm saying that double-decker sandwich is better than the tramwich we saw last year with Tram and Troy sharing it on the concourse.
There we go. And, of course, some cool giveaway items. Merrill Kelly's getting his first bobblehead. What else caught your mind that fans are going to get at the ballpark?
You know what's really cool? They're doing so many, like 25-plus themed nights out here for the fans. That means giveaways when you come through the gates, which is spectacular. So you have your standard Father's Day jerseys that are going to be really cool, those collared shirts. But then they've got Hello Kitty night coming. They've got Harry Potter night, really playing in to what the kids love, making it a really fun family experience.
And did I see All-American Rejects is going to perform?
Yes! Oh my gosh, I've seen them at Marquee Theater more times than I'm willing to admit, but they are a spectacular band, and that entry to the concert comes with your ticket, and you can get field access if you want. You have to look into that, though, on dbacks.com.
There we go. Cameron Cox, Rachel Cole, the elephant. Make the noise.
An elephant never forgets.
You're talking about Caden Marte, right? Caden is such a good boy. I've watched him grow up. He'll come by my office and just sit down in my office and start shooting the breeze with me. So I appreciate my time with Caden. I know that he has a lot of fun, and he's proud of his dad. Cattell absolutely adores him, and to watch them have this little bit of time together on a baseball field is very special for all of us. But he did ask me that. He goes, will you sign me in a couple of years? And I said, it's not my department, but I'll put in a good recommendation.
No, fíjate, él nació con eso.
It's in his blood. It's very special for me to be able to play catch with him, and hopefully one day he'll be a pro as well.
Oh, little Marte, man. Expect to see him with the D-backs maybe one day, guys. All right, one of the biggest question marks about this team coming into this season is this bullpen. Young and old arms are going to just have to hold down the fort until guys like Justin Martinez and A.J. Puck return. Puck likely back sooner rather than later. Martinez won't be back until August. But one name you could see in some really big-time situations is reliever Ryan Thompson.
Yes, and Thompson actually is a D-backs on Deck fan favorite. He joined us earlier in spring training for one of our takeovers here at Salt River Fields, and he opened up, getting real and vulnerable about the realities of being a pro athlete and the ups and downs of being a relief pitcher.
And here's the irony in all this. When he pitches well, the noise is quiet, but when he blows a game, the social media warriors get bold. Coming up, the older guys helped him get through it, but now that he's the older guy, it's his job to help everyone stay positive, stay upbeat, regardless of the situation. Here's part of an interview that you need to hear.
Struggling in sports or in life, it's hard, right?
It can be anything, and not just sports,
It's just in general, like when you struggle, life brings a lot of challenges.
Sure.
But I think that when we're on the national stage, we got millions of people eyes on us all the time. There's a level of pressure to that because if you mess up, everybody sees. And maybe it's not even your performance. Maybe you have a moment where you drop an F-bomb on the field. Like, you're being judged for that. We're in a social era of social media where everyone has access to you.
Yeah.
So I go and I blow the game tonight. I'm getting potentially 36 messages telling me to go kill myself. That's the nature of the game that we live in. And so
wait. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
So
okay.
You're actually getting threats based on your performance in real time?
We all do. All of us. No matter who we are. And that's how toxic social media is. Yeah. And so, like, I'm aware of that. It happens to me.
Sure.
So I know it's happening to other people. And so that's something, especially in the bullpen, because, like, we win as a team, lose it as a team for sure, but we're winning 4-3 in the 8th inning, and someone comes in the 8th and gives up a 2-run homer. All eyes are on this guy. This guy blew the game. It's his fault why we lost. And that's how the fans sometimes will view it. And I think it's a gambling culture is why it's so aggressive.
Yeah.
But I know that guy who gave up that 2-run homer, hopefully it's not me, that guy that gave the 2-run homer, he's getting messages. And it's like, we can learn to have tough skin. We can learn to just, this doesn't matter. And I think most of us do a very good job at that. But still, when you are constantly reading this stuff, and people will find your family, and they'll come after your family, and they'll find out something that, like, you'll post a picture on Instagram about a family member that passed away, and you'll have messages about this person's probably glad they died, so they don't have to see you pitch. Like,
oh my God.
There's stuff like that happens, and it wears you down. And so, I say all that to say that, yes, like, when someone's struggling, whether or not it's off the field or on the field, it needs to be an emphasis where guys like me and other guys, where we just love on each other, where you just go and we don't have to talk about anything specific, but just, like, produce that environment of, like, I'm with you, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
be there for one another.
I'm with you.
I mean, when you think about it, you can't think, I mean,
the kicker who goes out to kick the game-winning field goal
Yes, good example.
with no time left on the clock. The relief pitcher who goes out and gives up a dinger, that nothing incites more pressure and more fan anger than that person in that moment.
Yeah.
You can go up and strike. You can go 2 for 4 and you've had a great day, or 1 for 4.
Yeah.
But you can't go out and give up a home run and have a good day.
And then the other aspect of it too, and it's a joke among us bullpen guys, but like we've had me and a couple past guys before. It's a joke the next day because you blow the game. It's just like it produces this element of like uncomfortability because you know that you feel like it was your fault. Everyone else feels the the tension, and so they don't want to come talk to you. They don't want to make eye contact with you, and so like we call it leprosy. So you're like, hey man, you got leprosy today?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah man, no one will want to come near me today.
Coming up next on D-Backs on Deck, he's one of the most talked about players in spring training, and he's also one of the most positive. D-Backs new outfielder Jordan Lawler is choosing no bad day. See how that attitude helps him get on the field and his reasons behind it.
But I heard I might be getting a belt.
Okay,
so,
nice.
So I'm going to wear that thing all the time.
Yeah,
Every home game.
Forget the rings, the belt all the way.
Oh, look what we got here.
Who is this?
Look
he did
at
bring the belt.
this.
Let's go.
They gave him the belt.
I love it.
What are you
doing? Well, put it on.
Put it.
Here, turn around.
No, just wear it on your shoulder. There you go.
Oh, that's so
Look
good.
The champ is here.
You know, he didn't come crash your interview. I'm just saying.
That's so good. I'm glad you did.
Welcome to the D-Backs on Deck spring training special. Hey, the Diamondbacks outfield, guys, is made up of a bunch of superhumans, apparently.
2 of them have some special healing powers. Corbin Carroll broke his hamate bone at the start of spring training, and somehow he's on track to be ready for opening day. Then there's Lourdes Gurriel, who could be DHing in spring games just 6 months after tearing his ACL.
Gosh, that'd be crazy. Then there's one of the more positive people that I've ever met, new outfielder Jordan Lawler. The D-backs moving their former top prospect out there in hopes of finding him more playing time regularly. So far, it has worked. The 23-year-old is having a great spring. It is no secret it's been a bumpy road in the bigs for the former number 6 overall pick. But the dream does not change, and neither does his smile, and that's his secret.
It's always fun to be back with the boys and be in a new position. Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
It is.
But through it all, man, you always smile.
I do.
Where does that come from?
I love life. You know, Vargas has a saying, he says almost every day, I love my life. So what positives can you find, honestly, is what I've found.
And what impact you can make daily, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly
your
right.
attitude and happiness, things you control,
You
right?
control that. Yep, you said it.
Yeah.
Control the controllables.
And anybody teach you that growing up, or always been?
I mean, my mom's always been a great example, and then my grandfather as well.
What'd you learn from mom growing up?
Ooh, a lot of things. Oh, man. Get A's. I'll start with that.
Okay. All right.
But, yeah, just always remembering, representing the name on the front and the name on the back. Everything you do is always being watched, and you're always some sort of role model for somebody. So just being really cognizant of your actions and just being a light to everybody around you.
So did mom help with the baseball?
I mean, there's so many different times we've gone out, and either in the backyard, she set up that little net, and she'd put balls in the tee, and I'd be swinging, or she'd do her best to hit some ground balls to me, or even our living room. Sometimes she'd throw me little one-hoppers, and I'd work on my hands. So it's endless, honestly. The different times we spent together for that.
Was that the last time when you were a kid when you played in the outfield?
Yeah, really. I played a little bit in high school, maybe a couple fall games. Other than that, I played Saturdays on my travel ball team in the outfield, and then Sundays I would go play shortstop.
How different is it now to get out there more in the outfield?
I mean, I'm hanging with a different group of guys now. Today we're working on wall balls, and it came up. Doing some relay throws, but it's cool to kind of switch it up. I'm just stacking more innings in the outfield. And I'm tallying all my different, when I get a line drive or a ball in a gap, I just kind of have a mental checklist going through. So
do you mind? Listen, you were drafted pretty high, and that obviously comes with some expectations, and they're trying to find a spot for you on the field every day. Do you mind moving around like this? Do you take it personal, or do you embrace it?
All that I care about is winning, right? So wherever I can leave my impact and get in there every day and help this team win, that's really all I'm focused on, and that's my goal.
Biggest adjustment in the outfield is what compared to the infield?
You got a lot more time, a lot more space.
You catch your eyes wandering maybe a little bit more?
Yeah, you kind of have to check out and then check back in. But you can't like stay locked in focus on the plate as much, or you'll lose it. So
center field and deep. And a diving stop.
Center fielder came over, just took out the legs of Walsh, but he appears to be okay. Both of them appear to be okay. That's scary.
You had a welcome to the outfield moment.
In winter ball, yes. It was my very first game professional outfield.
Oh, man.
And the leadoff, wind was blowing out. Leadoff guy, kind of lefty, got out in front of it. I was like, no, he didn't hit that good. And he hit that good. I took a couple hard steps in. And I was like, oh, no. And I just put my head down and started running. I almost caught it, but I was like, well, first step back. They tell you that. And I mean, T-ball, first step back.
Best advice you got, like be it out there, is somebody come to you and giving you something that's really stuck with you so far this spring?
Yeah, so far it's just be athletic. Kind of said that all the spring training, but just be an athlete and run the ball down. Yeah, keep it simple, run it down, and hit your cutoff man. Yeah.
Always, right?
Always hit your cutoff man. Yeah, cut off.
The coaches get on you about that?
Cut off, man.
Have you missed one yet?
No.
No. That's the main rule right there. Hit your cutoff, man. Will we see you at all in the infield?
Potentially, yeah. Whatever. I don't make those decisions, but I'm going to stay ready. Shortstop for sure, just in case something happens. Yeah.
You got I think, some of the coolest experience. One, they threw you into the fire during that World Series run. And obviously last year was up and down. So how have you just dealt with the journey so far? And when you think back on it, what are the thoughts?
Yeah, you embrace it. It goes back to perspective and continuing to make an impact wherever you're at, whether you're injured, AAA, big leagues. There's always people you can help and impact positively. So the more positive you can stay. And I know it sounds cliche, but when you really buy into it and you create your life in that manner, good things happen.
So when you have a bad day, what do you do?
I don't have bad days.
Oh, man.
Opening day is nearly here, and the only place to watch is right here on 12 News. We have the Diamondbacks and Dodgers. First pitch is at 5:30 on March 26th, and the entire 12 Sports team is making the trip, hopping in the car, heading west to broadcast live all day from Dodger Stadium. And don't forget, we have 11 Diamondbacks games for you right here on 12 News for free in prime time. Don't miss it.
The Valley. It's not just rapidly growing. It's not just 300 days of sunshine. It's much more than that. This is our community where we're immersed in its diversity and culture. This is where we grow, where we evolve, where we're writing the Arizona story. This is our home. And 12 News is the home of breaking news, the home of weather impact alerts, the home of investigations, the home of original streaming content on 12+. The home of journalism. And once again, we're the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
And we are so excited to be back on 12 News for another season.
Catch a select number of games right on 12 News.
Including opening day live from Los Angeles.
And catch the home opener at Chase Field against Detroit. Baseball's just around the corner.
And it feels great to be right at home.
12 News is your home for Arizona's home team. The Diamondbacks are back on 12 News. And once again, we're the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
And we are so excited to be back on 12 News for another season.
Catch a select number of games right on 12 News.
Including opening day live from Los Angeles.
And catch the home opener at Chase Field against Detroit. Baseball's just around the corner.
And it feels great to be right at home.
12 News is your home for Arizona's home team. The Diamondbacks are back on 12 News.
College, I came in as a two-way, so I hit BP every day.
Okay.
What position?
I didn't get just a DH.
Just.
It was a life.
Okay.
Yeah. I would hit BP every day, and I was a starting pitcher, so you can't make that up.
See, pitchers can't hit. See, look at this.
Of course.
This is a prime example.
We just don't get the opportunity anymore.
Exactly.
When I was really young, I played outfield and shortstop, and I would always get bored.
Okay.
I would always play with the
'Cause
grass.
you're not touching the ball every time.
Yeah. So my parents would get mad because I was always like touching the grass and.
Dad would have to be like, hey,
Chasing the
yeah,
butterflies.
literally. So they're like, all right, you're gonna be a catcher.
Queen of Arizona sports, Jody Jackson. That's a fair title, right, Lena?
Absolutely.
That's a fair title.
As someone who's learned
I
an
don't
intern
know
under
about
Jody,
that, but I'll
absolutely.
take it.
Yeah,
I guess if you're gonna dish it out, I'll take it.
Take a nap on the line.
You have to.
Have you done that yet?
No, it's too loud to take a nap.
That means you don't watch a little baseball, take a 10-minute nap,
Yeah.
and then come back and watch more baseball.
That's the way to do it.
Maybe. I've seen that sometimes when people have a few margaritas. Sure. Next thing you know, you're like,
You're like, hey.
Hello. I grew up here, and it took me like 26 years to get to the Grand Canyon. It's a bit of a hike from down here in the valley.
The crazy, it's a big hole in the ground. Like it's.
Oh, come on. It's a wonder of the world, Cameron.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, no,
It's
not
literally on the license
not
plate.
that. Gonzo, it's good to see you.
Great
Listen,
to be here.
I want to say thank you because I know you were on your way out.
I was.
You were kissing.
I always
babies
stop for
and
you guys.
saying
I always
hello.
stop for you guys.
And I'm just over here hollering like a fan. You know, hey Gonzo, come here.
At Fenway Park, actually.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was like on the field for BP when I was 10 and got to meet Derek Jeter.
How'd you end up on the field? Just.
I don't know. I guess knew somebody. I don't remember.
D-backs reliever Brandon Garcia here on set. Brandon, as we send it back to the studio, your family's all on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Let's just wave to them, all right? If they're watching, hey, guys, I hope you're staying warm on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
I know it's stay safe. It's
Yeah.
freezing. You need to invite them out here, right?
Yeah, they need to get out here soon.
There we go. And welcome back to D-Backs on Deck, the spring training special. Cameron Cox, Lena Washington, Jake Garcia on your TV. All right, guys, let's get some final thoughts here. Jake, what you got?
D-backs need to hold on for dear life because reinforcements are coming around the trade deadline, around July, August. The bullpen will be bolstered. Ryan Thompson trying to hold it down in the meantime, but Justin Martinez and A.J. Puck returning from injury, and Corbin Burns is as well. So if the offense can out-hit other teams, which have done for the past few years, this team can stay afloat, but it's a big ask because the pitching is going to be dicey until then.
Yeah, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., too. He's coming back. Lena, what's some thoughts? What you got?
I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Oh.
Ketel Marte told us he wants to get a Gold Glove this season. I'm going to say that happens. And if Corbin Carroll continues to attack this practice rehab with the tenacity that he did in spring training, he's on pace for another MVP and All-Star season, I believe.
Yeah, he's like the Terminator, right?
Absolutely.
I'll say this. I think Jordan Lawler is primed to really contribute for this team. They're going to need him in the outfield, especially with Corbin still TBD, and then, of course, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. trying to work his way back. It'll be fun to see what kind of impact Lawler can make out there. His bat's been hot all spring. We'll see if he can continue it. All right, that'll do it for us. Hey, one more time out the door here. Don't forget opening day right here on 12 News. D-backs and Dodgers, the entire team making the trip. Live reports from LA begin Wednesday right here on 12 News. And then also, we got 11 D-backs games for you for free in prime time right here on 12, including the home opener Monday, March 30th. That'll do it for us. Thank you so much for watching D-backs on Deck, the spring training special. Batter up. The season is now on deck.